Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are digging into one of the biggest shifts happening in marketing right now, media mix modeling. And we're going to talk about why pretty much everything you think you know about your ad spend might be dead wrong. Okay, let's kick things off with a puzzle that honestly messes with a lot of marketers. It just feels wrong, doesn't it? You've got a marketing channel that's crushing it, giving you the best return on investment. The obvious move is to dump more money into it. But what if I told you that's the absolute worst thing you could do? Stick with me and you'll see exactly how this is possible. So to figure out the solution, we've got to understand the problem first. And the problem is huge. The entire way we've been measuring ads for years, it's fundamentally changed. The old era is over. This is a complete shift in mindset. We used to live in what's called a deterministic world. Thanks to cookies, we could basically act like a spy, following a single person from an ad to a click to a purchase. We knew they clicked. But now, we're in a probabilistic world. The spy is out of a job, so we have to become more like a detective, looking at all the big picture evidence and statistical clues to predict what effect our odds are having. So, why did this happen? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was kind of a perfect storm. You had major privacy laws like GDPR and CCPA giving users back control of their data. Then, the real kicker. Tech giants, especially Apple, started building privacy right into their operating systems. That basically blew up the system for sharing data between apps. The result? That clean, simple line we used to be able to draw from an ad to a sale, it's pretty much gone. Okay, so if the old way is dead, how in the world are we supposed to measure anything? Well, funny enough, an old-school technique is making this huge comeback. So let's get into the solution, media mix modeling. Media mix modeling, or MMM, isn't some new fad. It's a statistical method that's actually been around for decades, used by giant brands. And here's its superpower. It never needed to spy on individuals in the first place. It works by looking at big, anonymous, aggregated data, like your total sales each week and your total ad spend on Facebook, and it finds the hidden patterns to figure out what's really moving the needle for your business. Now, for this model to really work its magic, you can't just feed it your ad data. It needs to see the whole picture. Of course, you need your paid media spend, but you also have to tell it about your own efforts, like a big price drop or a promotion you ran. And, this is critical, you have to include external factors you can't control, like a holiday, a recession, or even a big ad campaign from your main competitor. Because without that context, the model might give your ads credit for a sales spike that was actually just the holiday rush. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. How does this model actually think? It's not just a simple, we spent this, we got that calculation. A smart MMM is built on two principles that mimic the actual physics of how advertising works on our brains. First up is something called ad stock. You can just think of it as an echo effect. You see a great TV ad, it sticks with you, right? You don't just forget it the second it's over. That memory, that echo, carries over and might influence you days or weeks later. That's ad stock. And different channels have different echoes. A big TV campaign might have a really long echo, while a search ad has almost no echo at all. Its job is to capture intent right in that moment. And the second big idea is saturation, which honestly is just a fancy way of saying diminishing returns. Think about it. The very first dollar you spend on ads is super effective. It reaches all the people who are easiest to convince. But as you spend more and more and more, you start hitting a wall. You're showing ads to people who are less interested, or you're just annoying the same people over and over. That first dollar is magic. The millionth dollar, not so much. All right, so let's put these two ideas together, ad stock and saturation, and see how they can reveal some seriously surprising things about where your money should go. We're going to look at a case study for a fictional company, Apex Electronics. Okay, so here's a pretty standard report card. If you just look at that average ROI column, the story seems crystal clear. Search is the undisputed champion, bringing back $4 for every dollar you put in. Facebook's pretty good, and TV is kind of lagging behind. So, I ask you, where do you put your next dollar? It's obvious, right? You double down on the winner. You pour it into search. And that would be a really expensive mistake. And here's why. This secret is in those last two columns, which an MMM gives you. Yeah, search has an amazing average ROI, but look at its saturation. It's at 95%. The channel is totally tapped out. So the next dollar you spend there, that's your marginal ROI, is only going to bring back 50 cents. You're literally paying to lose money. Meanwhile, look at TV. Its overall average is lower, but it's only 37% saturated. There is so much room to grow. Your next dollar in TV will bring back $2.80, making it, by far, the smartest place for your next investment. And this right here, this is the real power of MMM. It's not just a report card telling you how you did last semester, it's a GPS for the future, showing you exactly where to go to find more growth. So the big strategy, the end goal, is actually pretty simple. You want to move your budget around until the marginal ROI, the bang for your next buck, is the same across all of your channels. When you hit that point of equilibrium, you know your budget is perfectly optimized. You're not leaving any growth on the table. So for Apex, our case study company, the path forward is totally counterintuitive. They actually need to pull money out of search, their supposed best channel, and reinvest it into TV, their worst channel, because that's where the real opportunity is hiding. So let's just wrap up what a good MMM really gives you. 1. A true understanding of how much each channel is actually contributing. 2. A forward-looking view so you can see the point of diminishing returns before you hit it. And 3, most importantly, it becomes a predictive engine that helps you put your next dollar in the absolute smartest place possible to grow your business. Which brings us right back to where we started. Your highest ROI channel is often the worst place for your next dollar. And that just leaves you with one final question to think about. If a belief that fundamental can be wrong, what other hidden truths about your own growth are just waiting to be discovered?